Welcome to Creativeverse, your home of innovation, creation, and inspiration. We are in the final phase of this course and we are into the creative practicals. We are going to be making this flyer together, this and this. It's going to be a step-by-step process because it's a beginner-friendly video and I believe you will have fun. And before we start, all the assets and resources you need, it's in a downloadable link in the description below, so be sure to check it out, download everything you need so that you don't need to be going up and down. And I believe by the end of this course you should have a good grasp of what you need to start up your career as a creative using Photoshop. Okay, let's dive straight into it. All right, let's begin. So the first thing we will do is to create a new document. All right, so go to your file, new. Okay, it's going to be a square graphic, so we are using let's say 1000 by 1000. Make sure it's on pixels, very important. Pixels 1000 by 1000. We are not printing, so I think 150 should do. And yeah, RGB is okay. I think should leave everything the way they are. Make sure you check to be sure that we're on the same page. Click create. So Ctrl 0 to for zoom extent, and let's dive straight into it. So looking at this work now, if you observe, it's divided into I have 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 about 5 groups, beginning with the background. So we'll make this background first, and from there we'll move to creating the shape, or the shapes rather. Then we'll move to events, everything you're seeing here. Move to bring in the logo, which is very simple, and then the theme. So I think to make this easier for us, we'll turn off all of this. Let's open the background layer, or the background group per se. So we have all of this here. So first we're going to do is to create this background. All right, let's dive straight into it. So yes, we have our canvas, so to say. So we're going to move straight to shapes here. We'll right click. We have all the shapes here. We move to a rectangle. We'll just draw something simple like this. Okay, so the next thing is the colors, right? I believe you must have downloaded this file that contains the color codes I'll be using. As a designer, if there's anything you need to pay attention to, is the use of colors. So I'll copy this color code, Ctrl C, come here. Okay, move to my layers panel. I think I'm having some issues there. All right, so we're having a rectangle here, so I'll double click this. I'll give it this color for now. I think I would resize this a bit just to make sure I'm sure what I'm doing. And yes, so probably I'll duplicate this, Ctrl C. All right, then Ctrl Shift V, that will paste in place. So for this, I'm going to use this orange. Yeah, okay, so let's say I think here you have the blue below. Okay, so I'm going to double click this and let's have our orange there. Okay, so we're going to do something very important, something very simple and basic. So we're going to lock these two layers. Yeah, lock them. We'll go to our pen tool. P is a shortcut, or look at it here. We have other options, but make sure it's in the pen tool. We'll zoom in. We're going to pan. How do you pan? You hold your space bar and drag with your left mouse button if there's need. So I'll click somewhere there. I'll pan a bit because I want to be exact. Click there. I think that's all we need, and we should have that there, and then this. Okay, I think we're good to go. So what next? I will just right click this, make selection, make sure it's on 0, and we'll click OK. All right, we are almost done. This is the magic. I think we made a mistake. The mistake we made was that when we're drawing this path, we're on shape, so it's creating a shape layer, and that's not what we want. So delete. let's see, right click. Okay, so I think we'll get this off and we'll delete that. So let's do that again. All right, so go to a pen tool, make sure here it's on path, very important. So click that, zoom in. I think that should do, and then this. All right, so if you observe, it didn't create a new layer. So with this now, right click, would make selection 0 and okay. All right, we are off to the next big thing. So if you observe, we're having two layers here, this layer and this layer. But if you look at what we have here, we're having this below the blue, so we want to cut this in half. So now, because we have a selection here, so the good thing is that we could just, let's rasterize first, right click, rasterize layer. We'll get, okay, yeah, so we have to unlock now. Yeah, let's unlock the layers. Okay, I believe it's rasterized. All right, so we'll get our eraser tool, which is here. Make sure it's on eraser, not background eraser. Click that. You could use your backspace, square bracket rather, to increase the size of a brush, or you could come here and increase the size of a brush from here. So that is that. Let's move on. Okay, so when I clean, if you see what I'm doing now, I'm trying to erase. Okay, so to get this flowing, let's move our eraser, the opacity to 100%. All right, so we're having this now. I think let's make sure our brush size is on hard round. What else? Let's make sure our flow is on 100. Yeah, so we have that there. So I'm not painting, right? Let me get this off first. Yeah, I'm not painting. If you observe, the background layer is white, so I'm not painting. I'm rather cleaning or erasing this part of this image that is in this selection. Does that make sense? Okay, let's undo it. So what I just did was that, okay, this is the background, right? This is it. So let's get this off first. So now I want to erase this part of the rectangle layer, and that's why I'm having a selection like this. All right, take note, it was not a shape layer. So with this now, when I erase, it constrains the eraser tool within my selection based on the layer that is active, which is this. Makes sense, right? Okay, I believe it did. So now when I click this layer, this shows up, but I want something perfect, because if I turn down the opacity of this, I'll be having an issue. The blue will be showing beneath, so that will not still work. So I'll come here. First of all, let me take this 100%. So I'll come here. So what should I do next? I will need to invert this selection, or inverse rather. Let me check it again. Let's call inverse. So when I invert it, this selection will be towards the bottom here. So let's see what I mean. So I'll go to select inverse. So watch down, the selection is on this. Okay, so let me turn off this layer at the top. Now I'm on this layer. So when I paint, or let's say when I erase rather, it's going to constrain that tool within this box. Here will not be touched. So let's see what we're going to do. Make sure you rasterize and let's clean. Yeah, that's that. Let's clean and clean. You can make it bigger so it to speed up your work. So let's see what we have now. We have this. Okay, so Control D to deselect. So we're having this crisp or sharp object, and we're having this too, this crisp or sharp object. So okay, so I think I probably made a mistake. The blue should be below while this goes up. It's not an issue, we can swap it later. So let's just move on. So if you look at it, to finish up our background layer, we have a shape, a picture there, which is somewhere there. There are many ways to go about this. It's up to us, but let's say I think you should have your asset with you. So which one should I choose? I can't remember. Okay, a woman. I think that should be this, probably. So I'll drag this in, keep it there. I think I'm in the wrong. Okay, all right, so let's drag this in again and let's keep it there. Let's give it some time. So okay, we have some options here. Let's bring this below. Control T. You'll be seeing me doing this a lot of the time. Control T. All right, Control T. I hold Shift and Alt. Very important. When you hold your Shift, it will resize proportionally, but we want it to resize towards the center. So we're going to resize like this, make it big enough to fill the screen, and our job is half done. Okay, so what next? We'll bring this below, and then we're going to reduce the opacity of this. Though there are options, we could use blend modes. I don't know, but I don't think we'll need that for now. So let's just keep it simple. Let's use something like 90 if that will work, or let's say 80. I don't know. We can increase them later. Come here to, okay, we have 80. All right, I think 90 will be a better option for this. 90, yeah, something like that. Come here to, okay, 90. Sorry, we have 90. Yeah, and then we are good to go. So I will click this. I will hit my Ctrl G to group. Take note, Ctrl G to group, and we then call this BG. Sorry, double click, call this BG. That is my background layer. So think then for this, I don't think I need this anymore. Let's just get this off. So we just have a layer now called our background layer. So with this, we have achieved what I have here. What opacity? I think I use 90%. We're good to go. So we've achieved this. So our background layer BG is good to go. So let's move on to the next. Ctrl 0 for zoom extent. The next thing are these shapes. All right, very easy and very basic. Nothing difficult here. So let's move on. So I'm going to come here, go to my polygon, and of course this is going to be like 6 sides. Hold my shift and Alt and drag. Okay, so for now we're going to keep it simple. It's having white stroke, so let's give it white stroke. Or for now, of course, okay, let's see. Whenever you want to change the color of your polygon, double click this here. Not this part, inside here. When you double click, this comes out, so you can eyedrop. So we're going to do some things here because I want to swap these two colors for now. Okay, I want to swap these two colors, so we can do that later, but let's just move on. So we need a stroke on this, so we could come back to the shape layer. We need a white stroke. If I continue, this is a fill, that is the main color. Then we have our stroke here. All right, so let's move on to a stroke. We need white for that, and let's increase the size a bit. Let's say something like that, like so. Okay, and we'll come here, make sure you are on your, all right, so with this now we can control, in case you don't know, I click this, you can choose different lines, but of course I want I want that, so we'll do something like this. Okay, I think this will work for me for now. Of course, we have two shapes, so I'll click this. Now, majority of the times you're supposed to use Ctrl C, Ctrl V, or Ctrl C, Ctrl Shift V to duplicate and paste. That is copy and paste. But I'm going to use Alt and drag. So all you need to do is click the shape you want to duplicate, hold Alt and drag it down. We have that, and I'll reduce this a bit. Okay, so we have this now. All right, I think we are almost there. We are almost there actually. So let's I'll duplicate this. Sorry, I'll double click that. In case you don't know, I double clicked here and I will choose this color. Why am I doing this? Just to enable me swap this. It's okay. So I've clicked this. I'll double click this, and if that will work, double click. Let me do that again. Let's see. Okay, that's not what I want. Okay, so which option? So let me click. Okay, so sometimes when you're having this issue, click your layer, go to properties. Okay, all right, let's do that from here then. Okay, click, then yeah, you can click that. Why I like bringing this out is because my eyedropper tool will be there. I can pick a color and it should update. Sorry. Okay, let's repeat that again. Like this, click this so I can pick this color, and let's see if it updates. Okay, so if you're having such issues like this, there are many ways in Photoshop. So what we could do, we could just double click, right? Yeah, double click and go to our color overlay. Yeah, that could be an option there. Color overlay. Color overlay is a way of replacing the colors there. Come here and pick that color, and that get the job done. Okay, so I have this, and I'll do the same here. Double click, color overlay, right, and click that. I'm going to pick this color, and bam. So it's there are different ways, okay, to go about this. So I think we are good to go. We're getting closer, and we have okay, 40,000 naira. So we just come here, draw a basic box like so. Of course, we don't need stroke, so put off. This button means no stroke. Same way when I come here and I click this, there will be no fill, but I want a white stroke. So I think we are almost there. So back to our layers panel, and I think I forgot to explain some things. If you're not having your layers panel, properties panel, okay, just go to your Windows, whatever is active here means it's there. If you observe, we have a layers marked here, so it means it's here. So you can bring out your properties. I think somewhere here. So once you click it, it's there. So that is that. So let's move on, and let's go. So the next thing is to bring in this picture. Of course, it's a clip mask. We're going to be clipping it. So the first thing we'll do is to come back here, find the picture, which is this. One thing I like doing in Photoshop is that I like clicking the layer, okay, that I want to bring my object on. Why? Because when this is clicked, because I'm clip masking it into this hexagon, I would say, I will need the picture to come on top of the layer here. So I would drag this in now, bring it in, let's see, like so. I'll hold my shift and alt, right, shift and alt, and drag it in. I think I'm having some issues of clarity here, but I think it's too cool. So all right, so just come here, right click, and create clipping mask. I think I should come again with that. So when I dragged it there, just came to the layer here. Note, it's because these two, that is this and this, are consecutive in the layers panel. So we move, we right click, I will create a clipping mask now, and I think we are good to go. So I can still do my Control T whenever you want to resize. Hold my, I don't know, bring this down a bit, and I think I'm good to go. All right, so what next? We want to have 10% discount for early birds. Okay, so to get this running, I think I will need a layer. I think my character panel, so Windows character panel. Okay, hope that's clear enough. I think it was there, I don't know. So okay, all right, so click that. I use the Roboto font for that. It's a beginner friendly video, so it's just I think a font that is nice to use. It's not disturbing, so I'll just click there. I think I wrote the correct 40. Okay, I think I need to change the color. let's see, let me come again with that. See, okay, let's see again. Okay, it was blue, 40,000 rays. Well, it's a blue color, so I think I'll just change that from here straight up to white. Okay, so I think I'll just keep this somewhere. Let me repeat that. T for my test tool, or you could click this. Sorry, I didn't say that. T for my test tool, you click this here. Okay, so I would click and then I will put in my 40,000. Yeah, I repeated that because some of you might not know what I was clicking there. So I think with this, I'll just get this off for now. Then if you observe, we need to change this color. So for that, just double click this. Whenever you bring this panel up here, whenever you have it there, anything, if you observe, when I go out, it turns to an eyedropper tool, right? It turns to an eyedropper tool. So it means I can click this and it changes, right? I can click this and it changes. So let's say we bring this in. Of course, if you observe this and this is below this, and Photoshop works on a layer basis. So it means that if our box is on top of the write-up from here, that is what we also affect it in the canvas. So I think I'll just take this up and we have that there. I'll change the color again to blue, and I think that should be it. So I would of course increase the font size. I don't know, but let's try that for now. Let's try 18, probably 20 for now. Okay, let's keep that there, and then we are almost there as to this. Okay, 10% discount for early birds, right? 10% discount for early birds. So let's just move on. So most of the times I like dragging, like duplicating, but the only issue is that when you duplicate or drag like this, it might mix up with the layers. So I have to click here. You see the hierarchy. So this has to go on top of this, if that makes sense. So automatically now I'm having it on top there. So I'm having 10% discount for early bird. So just 10%. Okay, for now, alt and drag, take notes. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, sometimes when you're having this issue where everything is typing in capital letter, it's because this is on. So I'll turn it off and try it again, and everything should work the way it should. Early birds. All right, so I have this. I'll position it there. I think I have for 10% discount for early birds. Okay, did I miss up something? 10%. Duplicate these two. 10% discount, right? I'm still having the same issue. So what do? Turn this off. So it should work. Discount. I think the next thing is for early birds. Okay. So for this, I'll duplicate this. Most of the times I like having my write-up on the screen. Then I will begin to tweak in terms of color and hierarchy and alignment. Yeah, so that's how I work. It's just my personal preference. So okay, so this and so on and so forth. So let's see what we can do. First, we need our the stroke should be what color? Actually, the stroke should be orange and then inside white. So let's get that first. So inside we will need to click this. We'll come here and we will swap. We need inside to be this color and then the stroke to be this color. Okay, and maybe we'll increase it to like 7.2. I think that is that. All right, so what's the next thing? So I think we are good to go. We are almost there. So we have this, and the next big thing is the fact that 10% discount. I think I use a bold font. think it's bold I use for that because it's looking so bold there. Okay. I think it's better now. I think I use bold for this too. Bold. In case you don't know, what I'm doing is when I select one, when you want to change two write-ups or something together, you click the first, hold your shift and click the second. Okay, so I'm just trying to make sure this aligned. Okay, and I use the orange for this, so click this, maybe I go in there, click the orange. Let's see if that works. So I think I'm getting closer to what I want. Probably I might have to resize this a bit. Ctrl T and drag it to space. Yeah, this is where I will then click this, hold my shift, click this, click this, click this. Then I will align vertically and shift it into position. Okay, we've spent about, if I'm wrong, I think about 25 minutes just to make this. All right, so I call this shapes. Okay, so just group everything now. I'll click this, come down. Am I mixing something? Click that, Ctrl G. Okay, I think. Okay, from here up to there, Ctrl G, and call it shapes. Let me double click again. Call it shapes. So with this now, I think I've achieved something great. Why? Because I have this here. Okay, I have my background layer and I have my shapes layer. Okay, so I think it's simple. I think it's easy. Okay, so what's next? We have events, we have logo, we have this there. All right, welcome back. So I believe as a beginner, the goal is to make professional, crisp designs. And what makes your designs so professional, even though it's simple, it's how it's your style, the using the right tool, not a cut and join technique, like how we made the background and how we are taking bit by bit. So I think paying cognizance to these details will make you a better creative. So let's continue from where we stopped. So we are done with our we're done with our background layer and shape layer, as we can see from here. Okay, so we are off to events. We're going to add this up and finish it there. James Event Center, Lagos. So we're going to bring in these icons. I want to believe you have these icons already. You should be somewhere here. This, and this. I held my control and click them. Bring it to my, I think I'm in the wrong. Okay, yeah, that should fly. So when you have this issue, don't panic. Ctrl T, hold your shift and alt, very important. Drag in, bring it down, drag again. It's something manageable there. Sorry, I think I'm making some mistakes already. So I will still touch it again, but I think that should fly for now. Ctrl T, drag in until you have something sizable. Okay, and let's keep it there. Still too big though, but I'm going to touch everything. Drag this in until I have something like so. So let's speed up a bit because I think I'm just repeating what you already know. So on this path, before I begin to make sure it meets requirements, okay, I would click this and duplicate this, right? Oh, let's just type instead. So I will click this and I would say plus. Okay, go back, choose white color of course, plus 234 8065353480. And one thing you should know in your design is hierarchy is very important. So because of that, I'll keep this here, reduce the size. You can use a size, okay, like bring it this to 15 for hierarchy. You You can also use the kind of font. I'd love to use regular for this, just for it to be, you know, just there and not distracting. I think for my right up here I have Jane's Event Center. I can copy that. If you observe, the style of this design is changing already, but we just want to keep it very simple. And okay, I think I use medium here. Okay, maybe we should use medium then. I think medium should do. Okay, so we have that there. What else? And the 28 June 2025. So maybe I'll duplicate this time. Click 28 June. All right, 2025. Okay, so I think we're almost there. All right, for this I'm going to move this here. Let's zoom in a bit so that we could pan. Make it smaller. Yeah, okay, drag. Okay, so I think I will do this until I'm okay with the size. I think this is okay if you ask me, because we have a lot of negative spacing going here. If that this flyer was quite busy, we could have found another way to make it make this smaller, but I think this we should fly. So I'll just click this, hold my shift, click, make sure it's in the same whatever vertical alignment. Then make sure you click this and click one of this for distribution. All right, so to distribute it I usually use this, so I think this should work. The next I'll click this, and next I'll click this. All right, let's repeat that again. Click this, hold shift, click this, align like so. Maybe move it this way a bit, then maybe click this and this. So if you observe, I align these two vertically. All right, that is using this. I click this, and align it to the right. Okay, so now I'm going to align these two together vertically now. So I got this together and I got these two on the right alignment. I want to get this each, all right, to be in the same line. We get the idea. So there's no right way or wrong way, but the goal is to make sure your design. I think I didn't deselect that. Click this. I think I'm making a mistake. This and this. Now you're talking. So I won't say there's a right or wrong way. I think it's too big for hierarchy's sake. I would love to go down to like 12. Yeah, I think 12 should do. I think it's too big, though a lot of negative space in there, but that doesn't matter. Hierarchy is still a very important part of design. And okay, so there's this. Okay, another thing I'm going to do is the fact that these are white. So in Photoshop you could change colors of icons like the way I did here. So I will click this, just double click the layer, move to your color overlay. I think there must be an issue. Click this rather. Okay, yeah, calendar. Double click the layer, move to your color overlay, right, and let's choose our white there. That should get it sorted. Okay too. Do same for this. Double click. Okay, color overlay too. Click. Yeah, I think that settles it all. Click this too. Color overlay. So as I said, this is the first flyer we'll be making, so nothing should be difficult. So I'm trying to keep it quite simple. All right, so we're done with sorry, where was I ever since? Okay, so we are done with this layer, which is the event layer. So we're going to group what we've done thus far, call it events. Drag this down to maybe, I think there, like so. You can correct, Control J. Okay, and call this event. Anyways, I just coined this myself, so it's up to you. Maybe event and date. That makes more sense. Event and date. All right, so you see we have this on and off. So let's move on to the next big thing. So now we have the logo, right? Logo digital. So what should we do? What should be the approach? Now first and first, I use Roboto for this and this, so we might play around with some fonts later on. So I'll just draw something simple here just to represent the logo, and I will choose white. Very simple, natural color, of course. So bring in the Creativeverse logo. Of course, this is Creativeverse YouTube channel. Bring it there. I will scale it down a bit, move it up there, scale it down. So I want to create something like I'll not use this as just the logo. I'll bring in something like a write-up like this: Creativeverse Digitals. Use uppercase Digitals. I would love to use a font. Let me see if I can recall this. I used, sorry, second place. All right, so I use Anton. Okay, yeah. So I'm going to click this and choose my Anton. It's just a font of it that I have here. So I think I use blue or orange. And check. Okay, orange. So first of all, make this big enough, like let's say 17 thereabouts. I think 25. What am I doing actually? Sorry, 25 or 28 thereabouts. Okay, so let's choose orange. Move this up. Sorry for that. I won't want to make this bigger. So let's drop it to 24 thereabouts. Okay, I might have to make this bigger this time, and Control T here, resize it a bit so that there could be breathing room. Move this square. I'm using my arrow keys. You could also use that to move. And yeah, so Creativeverse Digitals, not so bad. Okay, so the next thing is to write 6 weekends of practical UI, 6 weekends. So we'll just probably duplicate this. But I think for my 6 weekends, make it white. I think I used Roboto for that. So let's go back to Roboto. I'm not sure, but let's just try this out. I think I used Roboto bold. I can't remember exactly. So let's say we have 6. I can't remember how I did it again, but let's check to be sure. Because 6 and weekends, okay, I'm correct. 6, duplicate this down. So we have weekends. Okay, weekends. So let's bring this down, duplicate again. Let's say 6 weekends of practical UI UX design. 6 weekends. Here is gonna be of practical. Then we move on to next is UI/UX. So as you know, I'll just write them off. Then next thing is color, hierarchy, alignment. So this is what we have. Okay, I'm thinking probably we could just have written them all at once. I thought we used different styling for them anyways. Okay. Anyways, let's just move on. I wouldn't have separated them. I think writing them all at once would have made more sense. Vertical alignment as distribute. That will have saved all this stress. Okay, this should work better. I think we just click this and we are good to go. Then let's increase the size a bit, 25 to like 27. Okay. I think I need breathing room. Okay, still okay. Let's see. All right, so next we're going to do is yeah, I didn't like the idea of them being separated. Now I have to begin to apply shadows one by one. I didn't like that at all. So let's say instead of that 6, just enter instead 6. Let me drag this in. Okay, just 6 weekends, enter. Okay, off, right? Practical, enter. UI/UX, enter. Design. I think this would do better if you ask me. Yeah, this would be better. So I could just delete this, and this. So now I will go to my paragraph panel and yeah, centralize. Okay, this will be better for me. Yeah, better. So now, so that the reason I did this was because I can just control the size with a click. If I need 28, bam, boom, all of them increases. I could just double click. I will need a drop shadow there. So let's see what we've got. Drop shadow. So okay, now this is the idea. Whenever you click any of this, at times you could just click and you have not activated it. This is still active, so you click there and that is that. So I'll just click that drop shadow. Of course, I would love to keep it not bad, but black. Then I would love to keep it quite close, so the distance is far. Let's keep it there. I'd love to keep the opacity a bit high. I love to play around my direction like so, like so. Maybe a spread kind of, and let's see distance. So that it could pop. Let's increase it. Okay, 6 weekends of practical. So I think we're good to go. So we have this, right? So I think we are almost done with this. Okay, creative as digitals 40,000. Okay, let's see. So we have logo and we have the theme. Okay, so I think to round this up, we have these and this and this. Ctrl G. We'll call it logo. Then this, even though it's just one, but let's put it in a group still. The group has one layer. I'll call it theme. And there we are done. 6 weekends of practical UI UX design, 10% discount for early birds, 40,000, Jane's Event Center, Lagos, Nigeria, number, and this. So it was kind of a painstaking experience for beginners, but I believe it was worth it. When it comes to design, don't play around with colors anyhow, and that was why I was so choosy as it concerns our use of color here. Okay, I was so choosy about that. And if you observe, we were kind of careful. I would love to drop the opacity of a drop shadow a bit. Let's say let me be able to see it in return. I think that is better. So that's that. So if you look at this design carefully, it's professional. We didn't cut corners. So going through what we've done thus far, let's turn off the whole layers. We got our background, BG. From there, we went on to bring in our shapes. We got this. From there, we went on to bring in events and dates. We got this. From there, the logo, and finally this. So let's export and see. So to export is very easy. We have two ways of exporting. If you want a fast way to export, very fast way, just go to your file, okay, save as. But I won't advise this every time. Save as. Find your JPEG. Make sure you use the first JPEG here. JPEG. I'm in my desktop and okay. So let's see. So I'll just click save. Of course, I will name it first. Let's say first walk. First walk export. I'll take by this. Okay, JPEG here. Move to save. And make sure it's, if you can, the largest. I think the preview should be on, but it shouldn't be much. And let's click OK. So it's saved, right? And I think it's still saving the background. So let's check. I should be in my OK. Has it saved? Okay, look at it here. So let's click. All right. So this is the final export. Okay, so let's move on to Photoshop. Let's use the other style of exporting file. You go to export and then export as. Let's see the difference. Okay, let's weigh the options available. Okay, so all right, so we have this. The good thing about this is that of course we have the JPEG, PNG. Of course you have less number of formats here, but I think it's the best. So you can choose your JPEG, and you can increase it in, you can increase the file size by 1.5 and so on and so forth, but let's keep it at 1 for now. And of course canvas size 100 by 100. You can scale it. I think that's the advantage of this. And when you are done, you click export. Okay, so it's moving straight to this file. We're going to name this let's call it, let's say export as first protocols. So let's save and let's wait for it to do its thing, and let's go back there. I think that was here. Okay, that's it there. So no much difference, right? No much difference. But where you will need this style of export, which is come to file, then going to your export and export as. Okay, it's when you're told to maybe export in setting resolution, which you can change. Canvas size, you could change the canvas size from here. You could also increase the file size, and this I believe increases the quality. So I think that is that. So I want to say yeah, congratulations as it concerns making your first design, and see you as we move on to the next practicals. So this Creativerse, your home of innovation, creation and inspiration. If you have not subscribed, please do. Here we post videos as it concerns different multimedia disciplines, from graphic design like Premiere Pro, Figma, Illustrator, Photoshop, InDesign, Maya, name it, AutoCAD, 3ds Max and the likes. And I believe being part of this movement, you are going to learn a lot as it regards becoming a multimedia specialist. So looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you.